Welcome to Mr. Giant Reacts and Ting and Ting and Ting. I'm Mr. Giant, back with another video for you, back with another reaction. And today we are in Ireland and we're going to learn about Michael Collins. It says he spanked the bottom of the British Empire. And I'm being from a former British colony. Let me check this vibe out and see what the deal is here. Let's YouTube and simmer.
Join us and discover beautiful beaches, rugged landscapes, pretty towns, desolate mountain ranges that sweep down to stunning lakes, unique architecture, history and folklore, no shamrocks,
The folklore
no
is all to
shillelaghs,
this world,
and definitely no shenanigans. Just naked Ireland.
Let's go. Who is Michael Collins, baby?
In the early years of the 20th century, Ireland was a nation on the edge, restless, divided, and yearning for freedom. Out of this struggle rose a man whose courage, intelligence, and ambition would change Irish history forever. His name was Michael Collins, revolutionary, soldier, statesman.
Revolutionary.
To his supporters, he was the Lion of Ireland. To his enemies, he was the most dangerous man in the British Empire. Michael Collins was born on October 16th, 1890 in Sam's Cross near Clonakilty, County Cork.
County Cork.
He was the youngest of 8 children, his father, also named Michael, a farmer. Growing up, Collins absorbed a fierce pride in his Irish identity. He joined the Gaelic League, promoting the Irish language and culture, and soon became involved in the Irish Republican Brotherhood, a secret organisation dedicated to ending British rule. At 15, he left home for London, where he worked as a clerk in the Post Office Savings Bank. But even there, far from home, Collins never stopped thinking about Ireland. He read about guerrilla warfare, studied political organisation, and prepared for the day his country would rise.
That's one thing about the Irish, man. They will leave their country and they ain't gonna ever forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, people who just have a smidgen of Irish ancestry will be talking about Ireland like it's still their home and thing. You know what I mean? I've been around a lot of Irish Americans, and man, they have some serious pride in the Irish heritage. And being from the Caribbean, there's Irish descendants there, like in Montserrat. They still celebrate their Irish heritage. You see people, my skin color, talking about being Irish because they're the descendants of the Irish and dead just servants that were there way back in the 1800s. You know what I'm saying? And even on the island where I'm from in Grenada, there's a place called Mount Morris, and they talk about the Irish heritage all the time. Some of them even go back to Ireland and visit on a regular basis, you know. Or even if some of them go to Australia where there's an Irish population there, and they go visit those people there. They vibe up.
That day came in April 1916. As part of the Irish Volunteers, Michael Collins took part in the Easter Rising, a bold, doomed rebellion that seized the heart of Dublin for 6 days. He served under Joseph Plunkett at the General Post Office, headquarters of the uprising. The rebellion was crushed. 14 of its leaders, including Plunkett, were executed by firing squad. Collins, then just 25 years old, was arrested and sent to Frongach internment camp in Wales. But prison didn't break him, it hardened him. At Frongach, Collins studied what had gone wrong and what would be needed to win the next time. When he was released, he told fellow prisoners, "Next time, we'll play it differently. No more grand gestures, no more doomed martyrs. We'll fight smart."
Oh, there's a museum. Huh. Okay. Okay, I'd like to check that vibe out.
When the Irish War of Independence began in 1919, Michael Collins became one of its central figures. He was appointed Director of Intelligence for the Irish Republican Army and Minister for Finance in the revolutionary government. In public, he seemed almost ordinary, a man on his bicycle blending into the streets of Dublin. In secret, he built an underground network of spies, couriers and sympathisers inside the British administration itself, even within Dublin Castle, the very seat of British power. Collins knew that intelligence could win wars. He created the Squad, a small group of men whose job was to eliminate British agents and informers. Through daring assassinations and coordinated attacks, they made it nearly impossible for the British to control Ireland. The struggle reached its peak on November 21st, 1920, Bloody Sunday. That morning, Collins's men struck first, killing 14 British intelligence officers across Dublin. So how did the British respond? That afternoon, British forces opened fire on a crowd at a Gaelic football match in Croke Park. 14 civilians died. It was a day of horror and of grim resolve. From that moment, the British government realised that Ireland could not be pacified by force. Michael Collins had become their most wanted man, a £10,000 bounty on his head, yet he continued to direct the war from the shadows. By mid-1921, both sides were exhausted. The war reached a stalemate. A truce was declared.
You know, as I'm watching this, I'm thinking, I wonder what did the Irish descendants in the Caribbean thought about that. It said 1919 is when it started. No, it's in the 1920s. You know what I'm saying? They weren't too far off of being freed from indentured servitude by the British themselves. So, you know, I wonder how many Irish people migrated to the Caribbean at that time. I know a lot of them went to like the bigger countries like America and the places like that. But I wonder how many of them actually migrated there. Was that a destination for them? That's something I'm going to have to look into.
Peace talks were arranged in London. Eamon de Valera, President of the Irish Republic, sent a delegation, including Arthur Griffith and Michael Collins, to negotiate with the British government. Collins went reluctantly, calling it the worst job in Ireland. Weeks of tense discussions followed. The British, led by Prime Minister David Lloyd George, demanded compromise. Collins and Griffith fought to secure the maximum measure of freedom possible without renewing war. On December the 6th, 1921, the Anglo-Irish Treaty was signed. It established the Irish Free State, a self-governing dominion within the British Commonwealth, but it required an oath of allegiance to the Crown. Ireland would finally have its own government, but at a price. 6 counties in the north would remain part of the United Kingdom.
I wonder why they
When
did
the delegation returned home, the country was split. De Valera denounced the treaty as a betrayal. Collins defended it as a necessary first step. He said, "In my opinion, it gives us the freedom, not the ultimate freedom that all nations desire, but the freedom to achieve it." The Dáil, the Irish Parliament, narrowly approved the treaty, and Ireland was plunged into bitter division. By the summer of 1922, the disagreement turned violent. The Irish Civil War began, pitting former comrades against one another. Collins, now Commander-in-Chief of the new National Army, led the pro-treaty forces.
Now, you tell me that, forces in Britain at the time weren't like stoking the fires, getting them to fight against each other because, they really didn't want to give it up. Come on. For one, it's like right there close to them, It was easy for them to say the Caribbean islands, just let them go. You know what I mean? They have lived out their purpose, you know what I mean? Sugarcane isn't selling that much. The banana trade is vibing up and stuff, you know what I mean? So it was easy for them to say, let's go. Let's just let them have their own thing there, you know what I mean? We're not getting anything out of them anyway. The thing about Ireland mainly. It's like it's so close there. That's territory. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to
The
keep that.
country, anti-treaty fighters, many of them old friends, took up arms in defiance. Collins called the conflict the saddest thing that could happen. He worked tirelessly to restore unity, even as battles raged in Dublin and Cork and beyond. In August 1922, he travelled through his home county of Cork, partly to inspect troops, partly to seek peace. Locals warned him not to go, that it was too dangerous. Collins replied simply, "They won't shoot me in my own county." On the evening of August the 22nd, at a lonely crossroads near Bale-na-Blah, his convoy was ambushed by anti-treaty forces. Collins refused to retreat. He ordered his men to return fire. In the exchange, a single bullet struck him in the head. He died instantly. Michael Collins was just 31 years old.
Wow.
His death stunned Ireland. Thousands lined the streets of Dublin for his funeral. Even many of his enemies wept. The country mourned not just a leader, but the promise of unity that had died with him.
Wow. That was a lot of
Now before I
fanfare there.
conclude, please like and subscribe to the channel to help me keep the videos coming. Without your support, it's very hard to create content, so by subscribing you become part of the process. And you get more Naked Ireland in your feed. In addition, you can donate to the channel by buying me a pint. It's really easy, you just pop down to the description beneath this video and follow the link in the second paragraph. That'll
Buy me a
take you
pint.
straight to the donation page. All donations are so gratefully received and really do make a difference, but obviously only if it's something you can afford. Michael Collins never lived to see the Ireland he dreamed of. Indeed, to this day, Ireland remains partitioned. Some would say his signature sealed the fate of Ireland's 6 northernly counties. Albeit he signed under the threat from the British of immediate and terrible war as a consequence of walking away. But his vision helped lay the foundation of the modern Irish 26 county state. He combined daring with discipline, passion with pragmatism. He showed that intelligence, organisation and persistence could achieve what brute force could not. He was both a warrior and negotiator, both revolutionary and peacemaker, a man of great contradictions. Today, his name endures in statues and songs and in the hearts of those who still debate the meaning of Irish freedom. To some, he was the ultimate patriot, to others a tragic figure undone by compromise. But few doubt that without Michael Collins, the story of modern Ireland would be very different.
Wow, that was a riveting history there of that gentleman. I've heard of him before, but I've never actually watched who he is or anything like that. You know, and I know like a lot of people of Irish descent, you know, including in the diaspora and stuff, want to know about him. Comment down below, you know what I mean? Here's a question I want to ask too. Is his life story being such a pivotal figure in Irish history? Is his life and times taught in primary or secondary schools in Ireland? Comment down below. I know some of you all, you know, let me know, you know what I mean? And if you live in the diaspora, you know, Australia, the Caribbean, Grenada, America, Canada, and you're of Irish descent, have you heard of this gentleman? You know what I mean? Comment down in the comment section. Let's get the conversation going and thing. It's crazy how you have some powers who will like divide people, and just cause chaos. And it's usually a mixture of wanting territory, just wanting control, of historical dominance. It's like, you're there, I'm here. It's always been like this. Let's keep it this way. You know what I'm saying? And I was asking if any Irish people of that time moved to the Caribbean, 1990, 1990, 1920 and stuff, or had moved there. But then, in a sort of way, it was moving to like the same sort of situation because most of the Caribbean islands were still colonies. But then it was absentee ruling because there weren't that many like British people on the island. After a while, after even during the times of the plantations and stuff like that, you know what I mean? There wasn't a whole lot of British absentee owners. They didn't live on the island. There was very little British people there, so there was a little bit more freedom to do what you want and stuff there, even though they still kept an eye on you. You understand what I'm saying? And they still govern you with the governor generals and and stuff like that. But that was a story. I'm happy that I actually learned a little bit about it because I mean, and I've said this before, man. When I was growing up, we paid a lot of attention to what was going on in Ireland. There was even songs, you'd hear in old reggae songs that it mentioned the revolutionary spirit there, even in some calypsos, of the time. When I was growing up, you would hear them mention Ireland struggle and stuff. You know what I mean? We even named some of our riots and chaos and stuff. We all have a bloody Monday. We have a bloody Monday. We have a bloody Sunday too. You know what I mean? So there's a parallel, a revolutionary parallel there. I hope you guys learned something about that. I hope people read this stuff up. We see the man was a man of peace. But that's a misconception about people who want in peace. They think that people who want peace wouldn't become warriors if it's necessary. They think wanting peace is weak, that you wouldn't stand up when the time comes to stand up. But hey, people like him prove it wrong. Hope you guys are having a good day. You all take care of each other and let's try to keep some peace in this world, okay?